Hello friends, welcome to ELS English Literature Studies with Gaur Harpreet. Today we'll discuss a strong relationship between English Romantic poetry of 19th century and the tendency of escapism. So let's get started with today's topic. Before starting, I would like to describe what is escapism. Escapism is a term used in literature which shows a tendency to run away from reality, to run away from the responsibilities of daily life or real life. An escapist does not feel at ease in the world around him. He tries to escape by unrealistic imaginative activity. In the context of poetry, a poet escapes into a world of imagination. He generally lives in a world of his own, which is not fit for him because of conditions and circumstances of life. As we find in the poetry of great romantic poets, S.T. Coleridge, then William Wordsworth, P.B. Shelley, and John Keats. For instance, S.T. Coleridge escaped into the supernaturalism. Wordsworth found that the world was too much with the people, so he escaped into the world of nature. And then we have P.B. Shelley, who created a dream world of idealism, right? Then John Keats created a world of beauty and truth around him. These romantic poets, they have a dream of a beautiful world of love, beauty, then a world of pleasure and peace, freedom. Amongst such harsh social conditions, political and economic conditions, this was not possible. So these romantic poets, they try to fight against, but when they find it difficult, these romantic poets find rescue in escapism, right? So they escaped to their real world, or their not real world, their ideal world created by imagination. And this imaginary world, the beautiful world which is full of pleasure, peace, beauty, and happiness. The Romantic movement, it started with the publications of the lyrical ballads published by S.T. Coleridge and Wordsworth in 1798. And these poems were characterized by imagination, emotion, love and interest, then freedom of expression and humanitarianism, then subjectivity, belief in the simplicity, right? These are the characteristics. And these poems were romantic in tone. They equalized rustic life. Romanticism was an artistic, literary, musical, and intellectual movement that originated in Europe toward the end of 18th century, right? In the early part of the 19th century, Romantic poetry was revived by Wordsworth, Coleridge, and Robert Southey. The kind of poetry, this Romantic poetry, this was a reaction against the new classical poetry. It was a revolt against the set rules of new classical poetry. In the words of W. J. Long, the Romantic poetry of the first part of 19th century is a protest against the bondage of rules. Romantic poetry is a return to the Elizabethans, right? These romantic poets were under the influence of French Revolution, and they were under the influence of their revolutionary thoughts and ideas. This revolution was a voice against tyranny, injustice, and unequal laws. Rousseau's primitivism, it was a revolt against the artificial life of the sophisticated people. But after some time, individualism and romantic imagination, this impressed the romantic poet of England, right? These romantic poets dream, they had a dream of a beautiful world, and these romantic poets tried to fight against the harsh conditions which were prevailing at that time. And they find, we can say, they find rescue in escapism. And they escape into an ideal world created by them. And all these romantic poets more or less are escapist, all of them are escapist. Romantic poetry presents not the world of reality but the world of dreams. So escapism, we can say, it is as one of the main feature of all romantic writing of 19th century. The same tendency of escapism is found in the poems of all romantic poets, but they dealt it in different perspective. Still, the main reason for escapism remains same for all romantic poets. So the tendency of escapism dominates the poems of these romantic poets, Keats, Shelley, Coleridge, and Wordsworth. Right now, next is about John Keats and his escapism. Keats' life and poetry. In his poetry, we find sufficient reasons for which we can categorize him as an escapist. Right, he is regarded as an escapist because Firstly, he wished for a life of sensation and not of thought. Secondly, we can say he was given to the pleasure of the senses. Then his poetry does not reflect contemporary social and intellectual scene, right? And he was distrustful of thought and philosophy. And because of all these things, we can say that John Keats, we can categorize him as an escapist, right? We can say that this most of the poems of Keats, most of his poets or poets of Keats' time, they were influenced by the political and social aims which are forced into activity by this French Revolution. But in Keats, the idea of the revolution have disappeared, right? And we can say that the poetry of Keats exhibits the progressive efforts of a man of powerful genius to create for his an imagination an ideal atmosphere, which was, we can say, unaffected by social influences of his age also, right? Then we can say that Keats' his poems reveal an element of escapism, and he himself is known as an escapist. In his poem Ode to Nightingale, he describes the tendency of escapism. He poured this idea of escape very beautifully in this poem. He desired to go away from this real world, in the world of Nightingale, because this real world is full of strife, sadness, and grief. And after listening the sweet song of Nightingale, he wants to escape from the miseries and sufferings of the world. He wants to go to the world of Nightingale, right? As the bird knows no human sorrows and suffering. He is happy. The poet is not happy with this world, as this world is a miserable place. And therefore, John Keats aspire for escape from realities of life, and the weariness, the fever, and the fret. There when where men sit and hear each other groan. These are the lines from Ode to Nightingale, and the poet wants to go to the happy world of the bird. He wants to see beautiful images. He wants to hear melodious songs also. Just as when he saw a beautiful urn in British Museum, he forgets his conditions. Even he elaborates the pictures depicted on the Grecian urn, right? He longs to escape from the bitter realities. Then we have other romantic poets like Wordsworth, Coleridge, and P.B. Shelley. Romantic poets talk about an ideal world which was not possible living amongst such harsh conditions. So, all romantic poets, like Wordsworth, he also became an escapist. He moved towards nature. In his poems, he glorifies nature and he urged people to move towards nature for peace and pleasure. He says nature is a mother, nature is a nurse, a teacher, and beloved too. According to Wordsworth, nature is the foster mother. He wanted to escape from this, we can say, city life and modern commercial life. He escapes to nature, and he also suggests others to go to nature for peace and satisfaction, right? For example, his famous poem, Tintern Abbey. In this poem, he says that during the hours of this great noise of towns and cities, he has often recollected those, we can say, memories lying in lonely rooms. They have been a source of delight to the poet because he has been recollecting for them for 5 years, right? The past emotions are recollected in solitude. The weariness of mind is revealed. It refreshed not only his bodily senses and feelings also. These recollections, these we can say the whatever he these past emotions, these refreshed not only his bodily senses and feelings, but his intellectual parts were also made alert. And the poet implies that the recollections of those beautiful objects of the valley have often thrilled him with this sensational joy, and have often thrilled him with this joy, and also have given him great mental peace, right? He wanted to escape from materialistic world that can be seen in this the world is too much with us, right? In this sonnet, the poet attacks the growing materialism of his age and apathy of the commercial people towards the beauties of nature. Here the poet condemns the mercenary pursuits of people of his time. The people of his times are engrossed in collection of wealth without bending their heart to the beauties of nature. And he says that when he writes, the world is too much with us, late and soon, getting and spending, we lay waste our past, right? He exhorts the people of his time to give some time to the beauties of nature. He wants them to be come out of this hoarding. These people should not engrossed in themselves in collection of wealth. They should come out. They should go in the lap of nature, right? Then Wordsworth find peace and happiness in the simple and rustic people. They were pure and untouched by this, we can say, pompous city life. In his poem Solitary Reaper, again he throws light on the simple and hard life of a poor solitary reaper girl who reaped and sang. She was a pure soul because she lived in the lap of nature. He admires the melodious song of the poor reaper girl. He says that the song of the girl is sweeter than the songs of the nightingale singing to a group of tired travelers in the Arabian countries, right? He wants people to be in the lap of nature. Then next is P.B. Shelley. Romantic poetry is known for the treatment of love, life, and nature, and P.B. Shelley's poetry is the expression of the man himself. It springs from the heart rather than the brain, and this is the reason that P.B. Shelley occupies a distinct place among the poets of Romantic revival. And he was an extremely sensitive man, and he was always lost in clouds. And if you want to know more about P.B. Shelley, you must check my latest videos, and link of other videos like ST College, Wordsworth, and Ode to Nightingale, Ode to West Wind. I will provide link in the description box. I would suggest you to watch these videos also, because these videos are very informative video. And let us come back to the topic that P.B. Shelley, right? He was a dreamer and imaginary idealist. He developed hatred towards material force, towards these man-made laws. He was not in favor of these dogmatic rules which are the evil in this world. He sought to demolish them and wanted to create a new world of peace and plenty for all, right? He wrote both personal and impersonal lyrics, and the poet's soul comes out in these lyrics. There is ardor of passion, ready to personal sorrows, as Shelley's personal melancholy and cry of pain have become the cause of escapism, right? When we talk about his poem To a Skylark, in this poem, the poet points out the main cause of human miseries. According to P.B. Shelley, no man is happy in the world. Their hearts are full of numberless desires. When one desire is fulfilled, a number of other desires take birth. And this is the reason that human mankind is sad. Even when they smile, it expresses a bit of grief also. No doubt they have a smiling face, but there is some grief in their heart because they want something more. And it is the cause of mankind that its sweetest songs are not full of joy, but they're full of saddest thought, right? And when we look at other poems by P.B. Shelley, we see more of the despair within his writing also. And it makes one wonder if the despair he writes about comes from his own life, right? In many of his other works, we see him telling the reader that we cannot let other people take our work, because if we do this, then we might as well dig our own graves, right? The tendency of escapism can be found in his poem, this very much poem, Or to the West Wind, which I have recently discussed with you, where Shelley requests the West Wind to allow him to share its strength, and he imagines himself one of the infinite dried leaves blowing with the west wind of autumn. In the autumn season, leaves dries, fall to the ground, mixes with this frozen dormancy of winter, grow to new life in the spring, right? Here, poet wishes for his poetry to take part of the same natural cycle of death and life, natural cycle of life and revival. This poem reveals the escapism and revolutionary ideology of Shelley when he identifies West Wind so strongly with himself that it will, we can say, capture his thoughts and ideology. Like West Wind spreads leaves everywhere to initiate a new birth. Escapism can be seen when poet requests the west wind to allow him to share his strength. The sorrow and sufferings have crushed him. We can say it is a matter of sorrow that his boyhood has disappeared. His personal life was unhappy. He was severely criticized by his friends and critics. He is without love, without mental peace. Therefore, he requests the west wind to help him in this difficult period, right? He wanted to escape from this world due to subjective melancholy and objective melancholy. Subjective melancholy in the poems of P.B. Shelley is because he was without love, without mental peace, and objective melancholy means there was a reign of tyranny, hatred, exploitation, and monarchy. Then we have Coleridge. In such a stressful state of mind, these romantic poets wanted to run away from the cruel realities of the world to a new world. where they can get peace, rest, and happiness. Thus, with the power of imagination, they escape to the world full of perfection, full of love and beauty, and find the pleasure and joy which they could not get in this cruel world. All romantic poets have the tendency of escapism, but in their own ways. But they have similar reasons to escape to the imaginative world, right? St. Coleridge, he wants to escape to a new world with the help of imagination, which is full of unfamiliar and mysterious things. And this mysterious imaginative world is supernatural. St. Coleridge, he was attracted towards supernaturalism. Supernaturalism, it can be seen in his poems like Kubla Khan and Ancient Manner. You can also check my video on St. Coleridge where I have discussed his supernaturalism. And through supernaturalism, he desires to escape from this real cruel world, right? Longing for death and sleep is a form of escapism, which we can see in his poem very clearly. Right, then next I would like to discuss Keats' failure to escape reality and his escape into the world of beauty. This John Keats poems will show that he tried to escape into the dream world of beauty, but he could not, right? And surely the ideas to live liberty, equality, and fraternity did not attract him. It does not mean that he was not acquainted with the human suffering or he did not suffer what others suffers, right? But he escaped into the world of he tries to escape into the happy world of the nightingale. He tried to escape into the world of beauty where even death is purged of pain. The principle of beauty in all things, this is the basic concern of Keats in his poetry. He could see, we can say, that he could see the mighty abstract idea of beauty, right? He tried his best to prove that beauty is truth and truth is beauty, that is all, right? Then Keats accepts life as it is. He affirms that though the forms of beauty are fleeting, the principle of beauty that binds the universe is eternal. He tried to escape into the world of beauty, right? But he soon found that the beauty was closely related to melancholy and sorrow, right? He accepts life as a whole. He came to know that life as such cannot be complete without pain and suffering. So he accepted life in totality with sorrows and with miseries. Then, in his short span of time, John Keats come to his final phase of his thought. We can say that we note two strong points. There are 2 points which are very strongly we can see that first he makes distinction between a poet and a dreamer, and secondly he asserts the eternal law of beauty, right? He was an escapist only in his early poetry. His later poetry, we can say, show an increasing awareness of life and its problems. And the controversy regarding his aloofness from life has arisen only because he was a pure poet, a devoted worshipper of beauty. That is the reason, right? He was of the opinion that poetry should have a message, and this message should be imparted indirectly, right? So friends, this is all about John Keats escapism, or we can say romantic poets and their escapism and their own way. So friends, I hope you will like the content, and if you like it, please hit the like button, share and subscribe my channel, and if you are new my channel, please hit the bell button so that you can get notifications from my upcoming videos. Thanks a lot for watching.